I have been reading many manga in the last couple of months. It all began when I read Chainsaw Man, and since then I have been full on non-stop reading manga. Within that period, I noticed something. Manga can be a little weird. Manga is full of creative stories, and that is why manga is so interesting to dive into. And most of the time, it's a good thing. Seeing a concept that only exists in manga makes me understand why many people keep coming back to reading manga. But some mangaka take it way too far. There are some manga that makes you wonder if that is an actual human being creating, concepting, and sketching this manga. I have been reading those kinds of manga within these past weeks, and I summarized 10 of the most unique manga starting from the list all the way up. And since I cover some sensitive topics in this video, I put a little warning right over here if such manga covers those sensitive topics, and viewers' discretion is advised. Feel free to use the timestamps in the description if you want to jump to a certain point, and better yet, you can stick through from the very beginning. This is Seirei Academy, the place where high-ranking students attend to compete to become the best. But among the best, there is Alya. Alya is not an ordinary student. She is the cutest amongst the girls. She is the smartest amongst the students. Everyone laid their eyes on her everywhere she walks. But above all, she speaks Russian? Alya is half Japanese Russian and a student in Seirei Academy. All students in the academy look up to her as the pedigree of a perfect student, but everyone was scared to even look up and talk to her. She acts cold to every student because she didn't show her emotion. She only talks to one student, Kuze, for one obvious reason. She is in love with him, but everyone didn't know she has feelings for Kuze because every time she expresses her feelings, she says, surprisingly, this has become one of the cutest and wholesome romance manga I've read in a while. There is this one scene where Kuze is playing out the gacha game, and Alya realized Kuze was madly in love with one silver-haired character. When she gets back home, she cosplays that character herself, and you cannot tell me that this is so damn cute! And just to let you all know, she is mine, guys. She is mine. Before Alya becomes the next Chizuru, I'll let you guys know that she is already mine. It seems like we got a lot of family shows in the past few seasons. Spy Family, Eccentric Family, God Family, no, that's a bit too old. Don't Have a Family. In addition to that lineup, we got a High School Family. Kotaro is about to enter his fresh high school life. He is happy, he is excited, and Whoa, Dad, what are you doing here? Wait, what the f? Kotaro's entire family is entering high school, and when I mean the entire family is the entire family. I went to a parent-teacher meeting when I was in high school, and I got goosebumps all over my body on how awkward the situation is. Imagine this guy has to go to his school with his entire family for 3 years straight. What even worse is his family literally outshines him in every aspect. I mean, look at his dad. Look how perfect his dad is. He's not even moving his lips when talking. He sat down with Kotaro, saw a ball fly over him, and smacked the living shit out of him. Even his baby sister is better than him at cleaning the class. And you know what? This manga is not even weird. It is actually depressing. What Kotaro did that he had to endure to spend his high school life outclassed by the family in every single way. And you call this comedy? Is depression seems funny to you?
I am processing the most triggering breakup.
I mean, it actually is. So I was hesitant to include this manga in this video, but hear me out, this is too good to be left out. If you guys watched my previous video about me reading the worst manga on the best mangaka, I also featured this manga in that video. So yeah, this manga is bad, but somehow it's good at the same time. So this is a one-shot manga about a group of superheroes attempting to defeat the final boss of mankind. But even superheroes die trying to kill this creature, until a young boy wields the sacred weapon, the only weapon that can banish all cockroaches to the Shadow Realm. Now it's hilarious to me that this one-shot manga came from the same guy that did these amazing panels. All people reading this manga has the same reaction. What the f just happened? Don't know what this guy has in mind when creating this manga, but I'm pretty sure that this woman is not really necessary. She's not even in the manga. What the f is she doing? Before I go on to tell you about this manga, there is something important that I need to tell you. I read this manga when I'm on the bus on my way home. There are a lot of people on the bus and I'm getting crammed right here in the middle. But I somehow managed to slip my hands to read manga. Now why all of this is important, you might ask? Well, maybe if you read normal mangas, it won't be a huge problem. But if you read a manga about a guy getting mentally abused and forced to do the thing by himself by Satan, that is exactly what Sato has to endure for the rest of his life. But how did he get to this point point exactly. It all started when the Queen of Terror was destined to bring the Earth to its end. But the angels were there just in time to seal the Queen and shoot it away from Earth. But so happens when the angels were about to shoot away the ball, Sato was in the way and hit him instead in his balls. No, I'm not kidding, in the balls. I reread that panels 5 times and the results are still the same. The Queen right now is sealed under a 19-year-old balls, and if in the next morning you see the ground is shaking and the sky is falling apart, it's because of this dude right here just finishing his meat. So basically the main goal of the story is to get Sato to place himself and shoot away his babies. Keep in mind that I read these kinds of panel in public transportation and I'm about to close and throw my phone out of the window. But I give the benefit of the doubt that this manga would be better in a few chapters, so I read. The manga just got even worse. So I wasn't planning to read this manga. Unlike any other manga on this list, I discovered this manga popping up on my Instagram recommendations. So thank you Instagram for contributing to this video and traumatizing me. Franken Fran tells a story about a genius biochemist who goes by the name of Dr. Madaraki no Mitsu back in World War II. He is capable of doing some of the most impossible surgery on any kind of living being. He is able to raise the dead, switching heads and bodies, basically doing Skyrim character customization on anybody. But his story was left in World War II. He should have been in his 80s right now and most likely did not survive the World War, so how did he? Oh god, no. No! He basically did surgery on himself and decided to create an artificial creation of his own Frankenstein. And if you are capable of creating anything, it has to be a cute anime girl. But that is not the part that makes this manga on this list. It is what the story comes after. So this girl is found dead after getting hit by a truck, and Fran decided to help her by the request of her boyfriend. Helping her is a bit of an extent because she turned her into a caterpillar. But of course you don't want to walk out on the streets looking like this, so Fran once again turns her into a cocoon and flush out her normal self. But there is no such thing as normal in this manga. The girl might look like a human, but deep inside she is not. The girl went back with her boyfriend and things went not really well. And mind you, this is only the second chapter of the manga. The story follows after it is even more disturbing. But you know what? I think I will sit this one out. I'm sticking with the principle. 2 legs, 2 hands, a perfectly normal human body, and you know, human experiment is bad and cruel things. I'm pretty sure there is no middle-aged scientist would do horrible things to human, right? Ha ha ha. I fucking hate you. I'm throwing a little bit of a curveball here and I decided to include some manhwas. Tales of the Unusual is a collection of some of the weirdest, most unique and creative horror stories I have ever seen. Some of them were long stories and some of them were short ones. And it has over 100 different stories over 300 chapters that you can sink your head into. The unique part is the whole collection of the stories is not all of them were horror stories. Some of them were more about human drama. Some of them were more about the mystery. Some of them were more comedic. And some of them were just too f***ing weird. It doesn't have the best art or complex sketches like Junji Ito did with his stories, but the horror lies in its story and its simplicity. And it's good for me because I don't like horror stuff and I can easily read through this manhwa. There is a reason why I haven't finished Outlast, okay? Don't judge me. It's baffling to me how this author can create so many great stories that each one of them easily becomes a standalone manga. A little bonus, Friday Forbidden Tales is somewhat similar to Tales of the Unusual, but a little more darker and of course, forbidden stories. How can I possibly say something about this when every single corner of this manga is filled with something like this? Ultra Heaven is a one-way trip to human psychic and obsession to a substance. And this author didn't hold back on describing and illustrating what addiction is. I didn't need to take a sip on what he's on, but I can imagine myself immediately throwing up. It's a psychedelic experience in every sense of the word. I really want to sit down and enjoy the beautiful panel in this manga, but each second I glare into each panel, the more I lose sense of reality. This manga sucked the living soul out of you to keep focused and observe every single detail throughout the manga. You are not here for the story. You are not here for the characters. In fact, I'm 2.5 volumes deep in this manga and I have no single clue who these people are. You are here for the experience. I have a really tough time reading through this manga. I was ready to read some of the most bizarre or the weirdest manga out there, but I wasn't ready to bawl my eyes out crying over my insecurities. Suzumu Nakoshi is a socially isolated young man who lives in his car and is a shadow of his former self. He was later greeted by Ito, a medical student who offers Nakoshi to take part in a bizarre human experiment, an experiment to drill a hole in his skull, claiming he will be granted sixth sense and supernatural abilities. Nakoshi is hesitant. Why would he risk his life for an experiment only to suffer himself down the line? But Nakoshi has nowhere to go. He can't go to the fancy building or 5-star hotel anymore because he is not the person he used to be. Neither can he be a substandard group of people. He doesn't belong to either of those groups. He belongs to nowhere. An outcast. And an outcast is a perfect subject for Ito to do his experiment. Nakoshi follows Ito to his apartment, lying down and trusting his life in the hands of a young medical student. The experiment succeeds. Kinda succeed. He survived the experiment and has a 9mm hole in his head. However, he didn't get the abilities Ito promised. Nakoshi and Ito go to various different haunted locations, but Nakoshi cannot see anything. That is until he closes his right eye and he sees something. Monsters. Crippling in his right and left shoulders, walking in the pathways. Nakoshi realized there are monsters everywhere, and this is where the story began. Nakoshi met many people, helping their past, fears, and suppressed memories while slowly began diving deep into himself. Not even halfway reading the manga, I was blown away by how fantastic the art and the storytelling is. Sometimes I have my day where I wanna lay down and sink it all in and think about what's happening around me, and this is the exact manga I wanna read. You just sit there and realize how dark and twisted human mind actually is.
What are you doing? You're not the thinker.
I don't think this video is complete without mentioning Dandadan. Saying Dandadan is weird is an understatement. Even saying Dandadan is the weirdest manga is still an understatement. Dandadan is a place where everything can happen. Anything you can think of is in this manga. We can go from a grandma trying to steal your balls to a giant crab falling down from the sky to full-on kaiju battles. We can see Obama went to Mars and bounced back to see Beethoven come back to life and Loch Ness monster shooting laser beams. We can have a dramatic backstory in the middle of the fight scene where this boy turned into a half robot. You can't make this shit up. You don't know what's coming in the next chapter. One panel they fight about aliens and monster, and in the next chapter there is a grandma wanting to suck your dick and aliens with metal pins, and you realize, oh shit, this is the same chapter. The next chapter is not even remotely close as the first one. I also believe that this is not the peak of this manga. You cannot predict what's coming in the next chapter. Probably Mbappe get tired of football and turn into a Ninja Turtles and start fighting Iron Man. And that's why this manga is so entertaining. The story is so dynamic that you just can't help it but just kept on reading. And don't get me started talking about the art in this manga. It's so detailed and fluid. The illustrations make Dandadan surprisingly easy to follow. You know what each character actions despite some random shit happening in the background. If you haven't picked up Dandadan, go and pick it up right now. What the f are you doing with Amnesia is a neurological condition in which a person suffers from partial or complete memory loss. Memories is a core thing that makes us what we are right now. It hurts to see someone with a deep bond with a certain person suddenly not remembering anything. You cannot recall what happened in the last few weeks, months, or even years. You lost the ability to recognize the person closest to you. You lost the ability to play Valorant. Wait, that's a good thing. And for Tsubasa Ichinose, he lost everything. He didn't remember who he was and didn't even remember his family. The last thing he remembers is that he went to Okinawa for a vacation, and in mere seconds, he lost consciousness and his memory. But it was not just him, it's the entire family. His dad lost his memory, his mother lost her memory, his grandparents, and even his little sister. He is a stranger to his own home. So they went on to reintroduce themselves as their family member without having a single clue that they actually are. But the Ichinose family is in high spirits. They believe the bond within the family will unite them together once again. They went home and were ready to restart from the beginning, until they saw their own home was in a mess. And for Tsubasa, his entire room was painted with these words: die, 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 This manga would not make it this deep into this video without having some of the most cruel and bizarre things happen in every single panel. Each panel has a plot twist inside a plot twist where the chapter is a plot twist to the previous chapter. The more you try to guess what happens next, the more confused it becomes, and the more you fall down to the mystery in this rabbit hole. All you have to do is enjoy and let this manga suck you into its story. If you stick until the end of the video, I just wanna say thank you very much. I post these kinds of videos. Sometimes I mainly talk about anime and manga. Either I review, I recommend, or just blabbering about it. If you like these kinds of videos, you can support me by hitting that subscribe button, and it helps me a lot and motivates me to do what I like the most. And that's all I had to say. Once again, thank you so much for watching the entire video. Check out my other videos if that interests you, and anyway, see you guys later.